Hello boyos, it's Rich Boy J here, back again with another video, and this is going to be part 15 of the Crate Mock build series. Super excited to show you guys what I've been working on. Once again, I know it's a late week. Last week I had finals. Now that that's over, finally back and able to work on Vardos a lot more than I have been, which is very exciting. But what I primarily was working on was that courtyard over there. I did actually start working on one of the buildings, which is going to be pretty exciting for me to show you guys. And I also started working on a new technique to build up some like weird vine type, flower type things on Vardos. So I'll definitely want you guys' opinion on that. So lots of exciting things to come in this video. Wasn't able to do a live stream before this update, so there are unfortunately no donors, but I would like to give special thanks to everyone who have recently joined the channel. Special thanks to M&R Productions for sharing the last Vardos update on his channel. It definitely helped give that video a boost, and it is like without a doubt the most viewed Vardos update by far, which is really cool. And I know a lot of you watching this right now have come to my channel from M&R Productions, so shout out to Ryan, he's awesome for doing that. And welcome to everyone who is new to the channel. So if you're not familiar with this, obviously it's a Vardos mock build series. I'm building Vardos from Battlefront 2. These updates are supposed to come out on Sundays, and I'm really trying my hardest to get back on that schedule. So you can expect weekly updates on this mock every Sunday, so just be sure to tune in and check that out. And then also, of course, whenever I do live streams throughout the week, I definitely urge everyone to check that out. It's a really great time for you not only to see the mock before it gets built or before it's shown off for the next update, but also for you to just hang out with a bunch of boyos who love Star Wars. Can't go wrong with that. So I'm not going to talk too much longer. Let's go ahead and jump right into the mock. Now let's check out the courtyard. One thing that you'll all notice is that I've got a ton more of those barricades built up, and I think I'm honestly finished with building this design of barricade, at least over here. I think there's probably going to be a few more whenever this area gets cleared up and I actually start building over there. But I was super excited to finally just, get the general gist of this pathway finally finished. So now I know exactly where everything is going to be. You can see that I've substituted a lot of the figures in, so I'll know exactly where things need to be. And I already have the 2x2 jumpers placed, so I can place the correct minifigures there. I saw someone ask why there are shore troopers here. This is absolutely not final. I basically just put the shore troopers there so I can remind myself that like those are supposed to be citizens of Vardos, and the stormtroopers will obviously just be stormtroopers. So it's just an easy way for me to remember exactly where everything is supposed to go whenever I start placing the actual figures. I just haven't, come up with finalized designs for all of the figures in this mock, specifically those Vardos citizens. So that'll be something that I have to look into in the future. But I'm super excited about this because I actually got some more of the spotlights wired in, so you can see that one's a functional spotlight. The other three are not functional. Like I had mentioned last week, a lot of these like spotlights in the game are actually like not working. They're just not turned on. So the ones that are important I do have turned on. So these two are functional. This one right here is functional. These three on that side are not functional. So as it stands, like this area in here is pretty much done, other than me adding in like some wiring and some cargo crates and stuff like that. And of course I still got to put in that freaking big spotlight that's going to be right there. It's going to look basically exactly like that. But generally this area is, or at least just the ground of this area is done, which is very nice. I love the way it looks. Especially having built so much dark gray over there, it's nice to have more and more light gray kind of being filtered in to break up some of the monotony of it. One of the other things I'm going to have to do throughout pretty much this entire pathway is definitely scatter around some more of the red flowers, the same way that I did down here next to the Boyo Lounge. I'm going to be doing over, like throughout this entire thing, there's literally just like flower petals everywhere on this thing, and they're nice and red, so that really does help create a contrast to the tons of grays in this mock, which is very, very cool. The big thing that I actually was able to complete this week is, I didn't really complete it, but I did get this building started over here. So you can see it's basically just going to be the exact same thing as this with a few extra details. So in the game, you can actually see the front of this one. That's one I really just had to kind of do a lot of guesswork on. But since you can't actually see the front of this building, there's these like little flowers slash vines type things right here. I don't know the exact term for it, but I'll pull up a picture right now. And you guys can see that I really tried to replicate that design in here using a lot of the like pipe pieces and the claw pieces and things of that sort, of course with the red flower pieces sitting on top of them to create that general shape. And I do like the way it turned out. If anyone has any suggestions for maybe more curved pieces to incorporate in this. I think I would appreciate that, but in the meantime, I actually really do love the way this looks. I think it makes this building look a lot more interesting than this one over here. This one looks a little plain compared to this one at the very bottom, so I am actually pretty excited that I got that built. And of course, there are the two lights that are directly above it. So after I get done with this portion of the video, I'll turn off all the lights in the room. I'll turn off all the lights on the MOC so you guys can actually see those illuminated. But you can also see I threw some Imperial officers right there. I think whenever the MOC is like actually finished, those guys won't be right there. Mainly just because like this is supposed to kind of be like where the people, like where the citizens are kind of blockaded off, so they're really not even able to get through there, and I don't anticipate that there would just be some Imperial officers calmly standing there right next to protesters. But I did think it really made for a cool like intro shot, so you guys can see that's where the intro kind of comes from. And I don't know, I really do just love that section of the MOC. It's one of the few places right now in the MOC where you can get a really good close-up picture and the background is all MOC, so everything kind of looks complete just from this one little slither of the MOC. So I do really appreciate that. Going on to the back side of this building, you can see that there are larger versions of those same kind, those vine type, flower type things. And obviously these are much bigger, so I had to use longer, actually that's not supposed to be like that. There we go. Got it fixed. So yeah, you guys can get a pretty good general idea of what those are supposed to look like. The building will of course come up behind it. There will be light shining on it, so it'll definitely be illuminated whenever the MOC is finished. But I really do like the design of this as well. Like I'm liking whenever I get the opportunity on this MOC to put something into it that's not dark gray, because there's just so much dark gray to go around. So whenever I could put something in this that isn't dark gray, it's very exciting for me. But yeah, this is going to be the exact same on the other side of the MOC. So you can see I have the orange bricks kind of marking off where that building is going to be. And I like whenever like both of these buildings get finished, I think from the back side of them, it's going to look really cool. And it'll look even cooler whenever the three buildings are finished, like from this angle, because you'll have obviously this one over here, that one right there, and then that one right there. And I think I'll be able to get some really good pictures of the MOC from this perspective with three very complete buildings in this kind of area. So honestly guys, that's all I got for you. I worked on getting a lot of these barricades built up, and of course started on that building right there, and everything is moving along pretty well. Everything is moving along as the Emperor has foreseen it. Alright, I've turned off the lights in the room so it is lit, and you guys can see one of the functional spotlights right there, and then the other two functional spotlights right here. Really does help illuminate this pathway, which is actually quite important to me. I don't really want to have any... My plan for this MOC is to be able to just play it with all the lights off if I decide to do that, and one of the things I have to make sure I do then is that there are no like parts that are just completely not visible or just like too dark to be displayed with all the lights in the room off. So my goal was to keep everything at least slightly illuminated, and I think by having these lights here, they all work together to keep this pathway illuminated pretty well. So I'm happy with the way everything in here looks. My favorite part of what I've done is easily like this section right here. Like I said, like just when you can pull up really close to it, I just love the aesthetic of the lights above the flowers right there. I think it looks very, very nice, and I can't wait to build more stuff like that. So once I can start incorporating more and more of those like Vardos trees and the flowers and petals everywhere, like once I can just get more of that stuff scattered throughout the MOC, I think it'll really help contrast the dark gray and just, it would definitely help accentuate the MOC, I think. One of the other things I did was actually put a light over here, actually two lights. So one of them is over here, it's right above the Boyo Lounge. So this area, once people are like waiting outside the door, they'll have some light right there. But then also the other thing is I put a light behind this window, and my goal is whenever I can actually get it printed out at some point, is to put one of the propaganda posters right here, and obviously like it'll be illuminated from the back, so it'll definitely pop out, it'll stand out, which was my goal. So I'm actually really excited to see how that looks. I'm probably going to make it a point today at some point to go get some colored ink so I can actually get that printed out, and we'll see how that looks moving forward. So yeah, this is the MOC under the lights. This is always my most excited. This is always the most exciting part of the video to do for me, just because, I mean, the lights are everything on this MOC. Like, I I think a lot of the builds and stuff look really cool, but the lights, I think, really just make it. And that's going to make, hopefully, this one of the more memorable Star Wars MOCs that have ever been created. So that's really all I got for you guys this week. We can go ahead and move to the end of the video. Alright guys, that's going to finish up the update for this week. I really do hope that you enjoyed all the progress that I made on it. I would like a lot of your input on the vine type of flower things that I did for the front of the building and the back of the building. It's a technique that I've never done before. I've never had to build something like that, but I am pretty happy with it. If you guys have any useful parts that I could use for that, I would definitely love to see it. But for now, I am liking the general direction that this MOC is going in. Hopefully for the next update, I do hope to have at least, finished that first building and at least started that building right next to it. They are basically just mirror images of each other, so it is not difficult for me to design or anything like that. It's really just a matter of me putting the pieces on the MOC. So moving forward, hopefully get that done. I'm excited because I'm literally on the verge of getting into that main courtyard over towards the way back of the MOC where the giant tower is going to be. So you guys are definitely going to want to stay tuned for that. Lots of exciting things moving forward with this MOC to come about. So like I always say, guys, if you like what I do, go ahead and smash that like button to support the video, smash the subscribe button to support the channel, and of course, I'll be back very soon.